Hello, today we're going to review the Canon Rebel T6 or 1300D. Hello and welcome to CameraWize. Today we're going to have a quick look at the Canon Rebel T6 or 1300D. There are three things you need to know right now. Firstly, this is the short review to the 1300D or Rebel T6. If you want to see the long review with more details, then click here. Secondly, we have produced a free guide that's absolutely free to download on the Rebel T6, and if you want to see that, then click here. And if you want to see our superb manual for the Rebel T6 or 1300D, then I suggest you watch to the end and then you get a 20% discount code off the price, which is a great deal. So carry on watching. Alright then, well let's get on with it. The first thing we need to know about this camera is that it's designed by Canon for people who want to develop their photography from perhaps compact photography or bridge camera photography onto full DSLR photography. It's got a good range of options in terms of helping people progress from fully auto to the preset ranges, which is portrait or landscape, food photography, which is something that it offers as well, and then onto the semi-automatic, the aperture priority or the shutter speed priority, onto full manual. It's quite nicely done. It doesn't offer you too much, it's not distracting, but it gives you all the options to allow you to shoot fully auto initially, and then start to explore those things that you might have bought the camera specifically for, as I say, shooting portraits or landscapes, and then encourages you into the semi-automatic and full manual. It's a nice camera like that. It's very well put together. It's dinky, it's small, it feels solid. It's not flimsy. It's nicely put together with pretty solid feeling plastic, and it's a nice camera to hold in your hand, which is a good thing. So the first thing to talk about is file size. It's about 18 megapixels, just over. There are cameras in this band which will offer you 24 megapixels, but 18 will give you a 50 megabyte file, and that's pretty much big enough for anybody. If you want something bigger than that, then you want to shoot billboards, and you'd want to use a different camera. So I would say that 18 megapixels is perfectly good for pretty much any form of photography. Professionally speaking, cameras only 5 years ago would have shot about 18, possibly 20 at maximum. The second thing to look at is the processor, which is a Digic 4 Plus processor. Now obviously it's an incremental increase from the Digic 4, but Canon say it's about 60% faster and more efficient, which is pretty good. And as a processor for this type of camera, it's excellent. It does produce very high quality images and it can turn them around very quickly, which means that when you get onto the burst speed, which is 3 frames per second, yes, it's not the fastest, but when you're shooting on 3 frames per second, if you're shooting in JPEG, you can pretty much press the button and it will turn that through indefinitely because the processor is fast enough to turn those into JPEGs and format them very quickly, which means there's no lag, which is pretty good. The next thing to talk about is the ISO range. Now it starts at 100 and goes up to 6400 with a possible boost up to 12800. Now, to be honest, most photographers probably won't want to go beyond 3200, and for this camera, to be fair, there's not a great deal of noise up to 3200. There is a bit getting up to 6.4 and 12.8, well, you know, you get what you're given. But most photographers will probably want to work within the 100 to 800 range, and for that, this is a pretty good camera. The ISO is good, and because the processor is so good, it actually comes out with some very high quality images. The Rebel T6 also has a high resolution screen on the back, which is very useful for two reasons. First of all, you will need it if you're going to shoot video, because that's how you shoot video, through this screen. You will also possibly need it, or like it anyway, when you're shooting stills. And of course, if you're coming from a compact, then it may be that that's how you shot before, which is comforting if you're moving on to a DSLR to see something this familiar. The screen itself is very good. It's actually really good high resolution, and it does represent what you would see through the lens very well. The other reason for the screen is that it allows you to navigate through the menus and the tabs. Now, it's not too complicated on the menus. It's actually quite intuitive, But this is what I mean when I say that it's a camera which allows you to expand your photography. You can be as basic or as advanced as you would like, and the menus really help, and they're very easy to navigate through the back menu. In terms of autofocus, it has 9 points, which is okay. It's certainly suitable for a decent camera. There are cameras, of course, which have more, and why would you have more? Well, if you're shooting something very small and very fast, then having more focus points is useful. But for most purposes, having a 9-point diamond-shaped focus autofocus system is enough. And as I say, because we go back again to the processor is quick enough, so the autofocus is pretty sharp and pretty quick. The only places where you find difficulty are in very low light, and also sometimes when you're shooting something which is low contrast. So if you're shooting something which is all the same or similar sorts of colours, it will sometimes have difficulty focusing on that. In terms of video, it's actually very easy to use. There's an option on the dial. It will shoot full HD 1080, it will shoot HD 720, and then it will go down to 640 as well. It shoots P, not interlace, thank heavens. And so actually the quality that comes out of here is really pretty good. One of the great selling points about this camera is its connectivity. It has Wi-Fi and NFC connections, which means that you can either send pictures or videos for that matter to your phone or to your laptop computer and get them on social media or to your social media platforms very quickly. That's a really useful thing. Obviously, it's for a generation who are into that kind of thing, and they're the generation probably who are moving up from the compacts and the bridges. So it's a really useful function. So in short, this is a really good little camera. It's very well made, it feels robust, the functionality is very good, it's ideal for somebody who wants to take their photography a little further. It gives you the options to improve in pretty much every aspect of photography. It's simple and intuitive to use, the menus are easy to use, it's got great quality images, very good video. If you wanted to be picky, you could say very sensibly that it doesn't excel anywhere. The only thing that is a really good selling point, I would say, is the Wi-Fi connectivity. You could say that the frame speed is a bit slow. Yeah, it is. You could say that 9-point AF is a bit old hat. Yeah, it is. And you could say possibly that the Digic 4 Plus processor, well, you could have put a faster one in. Yeah, they could. But this is a very competitively priced camera for people who want to learn about photography and take it further. And I think on that basis, Canon have probably made most of the right decisions. There are a couple of things I would have quite liked to have seen. I'd have liked to have seen an HDR function because I think that produces really strong photography and encourages people to take more pictures because they like that look. And also, I'd have quite liked for video to have had an external microphone socket, which I don't think would have cost too much to put in and would have taken the video potential of this camera a little bit further. But in short, it's a good little camera. It works very well. It's got good picture quality. It's got all the right functions. It's very tactile. It's very ergonomic, and the menus are very good. If you would like to see the longer review with more details about this camera, then click here. And if you would like to see how to get 20% off my superb manual about this camera, then watch this. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, if you want to see our free guide, then click on the link here or the one in the description below. And if you want to see our superb manual about the Rebel T6, then click on the link here or in the one in the description below. And we'll give you a special code so that you can get 20% off the price. If you just want to see videos about the Rebel T6, then click here or here. And we'll see you soon.